توب ستوريز من وطن الكرامة.
Hello, welcome to Watan al-Karama News Channel. It is 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with the latest developments in the Libyan state. UN envoy to Libya Bernardino Leon said that the talks between the Libyan parties on the Libyan crisis don't have finished yet. During a press conference held by Leon in Tunisia, he noted that the United Nations did not propose any names for the government of national reconciliation in Libya, adding that the text of the agreement did not enter into force unless it is signed by the Libyan parties. Leon stressed that dialogue in Libya should be held for key actors, and they are only Libyans. Parliament Speaker Aguila Saleh Guidry stressed that the House decision to reject the government of UN envoy to Libya Bernardino Leon has been adopted by the majority of Parliament members. Media advisor Fathi Abdul Karim Al-Mariami quoted Guidry as saying that the decision stipulated that the United Nations support mission in Libya should comply with the text of the forced draft in the selection of the Prime Minister and his deputies, and not to choose the President of the Advisory Council of State, a Chairman of the National Security Council, and government ministers by the mission. Guidry pointed out that the Parliament dissolved the dialogue committee, stressing that an alternative commission could be selected and replace the current one. Guidry added that the latest draft of the political dialogue will be referred to a special Parliament committee to discuss it. British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond stressed that a political settlement between the Libyan parties is the best way for resolving the Libyan crisis. Hammond said that the settlement enables the National Unity Government to work with the support of the international community to counter terrorism. Hammond stressed the need to continue the political dialogue between the Libyan parties to achieve peace and security and to revive the economy. Moreover, he stressed his continued support for the efforts of the UN envoy to Libya, Bernardino Leon. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met with the Foreign Minister of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, at the opening of the Mediterranean Conference of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe in Jordan and discussed the developments of the situation in Libya. Shoukry stressed during his meeting with German counterpart the need to focus on international and regional efforts to find a political solution to the Libyan crisis. Steinmeier called on the Libyan parties to exploit the opportunity and approve a political agreement and dialogue table. Moreover, he expressed his hope that Libya is involved in future meetings of the international organization. The constituent body of draft constitution announced revision of the number of workers' contract on the office of the authority. The commission pointed out that work is underway to recontract with the elements only needed for the interest of work in accordance with the reward system associated with the required duration to reduce the number of employees to the minimum to cope with its financial crisis. The commission confirmed that these measures will be implemented by the end of the month of October. Arab-Libyan armed forces regained control of Al-Shibika and Al-Jadida area on Ajailat as the 27th area became under the control of the armed forces, while clashes are still continuing against the terrorist militia. Armed forces succeeded in achieving progress towards the Souq area, and they were stationed near the port city. The clashes has forced the people of Souq area in Ajailat to flee towards the city of Sabrata. And still in Libya, a meeting was held at the headquarters of the cabinet in Al-Bayda city, including Abdel Salam El-Badri, Deputy Prime Minister for Services Affairs, and Ibrahim Al-Ahad, Chairman of the Council of Elders in Benghazi, and a number of Elders Council in Benghazi. The meeting discussed the treatment of displaced people living in schools in Benghazi conditions and addressing the health sector situation in the city. It also demanded commission of the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Musbah Sabah al-Awami of work of the Prime Minister of the Ministry in Benghazi, as well as the consideration of the security services in the city are means of supporting the necessary needs, in addition to the need of supporting Arab-Libyan armed forces. And now we transfer to the Arab arena, especially in Iraq. Iraq's ruling alliance have urged Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi to request Russian airstrikes on terrorist Daesh militants who control large parts of the country. Members of the coalition and militia said that growing pressure on al-Abadi to seek Russian support puts in the delicate position of trying to appease his ruling coalition, as well as militia seen as a bulwark against terrorist Daesh group, while keeping strategic ally Washington on his side. A senior aide to the leader of Badr Brigade militia said that Russia had proven more decisive in its air campaign in Syria than the Americans, so it was only natural to seek Moscow's help. In Iraq's America's top general Joseph Dunford said on a trip to Baghdad on Tuesday that the United States won assurance from Iraq that it would not seek such strikes. Dunford, on his visit to Iraq since becoming chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff on October 1, said that al-Abadi and Iraqi Defense Minister Khalid al-Ubaidi both told him they were not seeking Russia's help. And now about Taliban's terrorism, especially in Afghanistan. Afghan government forces, bolstered by hundreds of fresh troops and elite commanders, battled today to push the Taliban back from around the capital of southern province of Helmand after fierce fighting a day before the fighting near the provincial center of Lashkar Ghat, part of a widening insurgency across the country, comes 3 weeks after the Taliban briefly captured the northern city of Kunduz in their biggest military success of the 14-year conflict. A senior police official in Helmand said that troops backed by air support had pushed fighters from hardline terrorist Taliban movement back by some 8 kilometers from Lashkar Gah and regained a district which had been overrun. He said that the operations was ongoing in the areas of Babje, Nadi El Ali and Gershek and were being backed by airstrikes. The three areas are where the fighting has been almost intense. The Taliban said it has seized two districts near Babaji and captured a large amount of equipment and ammunition. The fighting near Gershek underlined the threat to Afghanistan's major transport arteries from the insurgency. And now we transfer to the immigration. Bulgarian Foreign Minister Daniel Moldova called today for the strengthening of Europe's border protection and for a tougher stance on legislation towards human traffickers. Thousands of migrants continue unbated to arrive through illegal routes in the European Union, reinforce the control of the outer borders of the European Union with common European efforts. Fight against human trafficking, which a phenomena, an ugly, brutal phenomena which will continue existing even if we solve the problem in Syria. Defeating the network of the criminals who smuggle people is crucial for each and every European country. Mitov told a news conference after meeting with his Greek counterpart Nikos Kostias in Athens. Mitov said in order for Europe to tackle the migrant crisis, a closer cooperation needed to be established not only with EU member states but also with the candidate countries and especially Turkey, who could be offered incentives to keep the migrants on its territory. My audience, that is a wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.watanalkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, Rania البليدى.
Thank you.